Back now with Michelle Graff and Jesse Marceau of Care Patrol. We were just talking during the commercial about the need for your care services, and you mentioned Parkinson's and Alzheimer's.
Right.
Big need right now. What's happening out there?
Yeah, so they're both a little bit of a wave. In Northeast Wisconsin is really, for reasons I can't explain, I'm not sure anybody can, there's a high rate of Parkinson's up in this area. And so we do continue to see a lot of demand for services around that. And we're often connecting people with programs and support opportunities that are actually out in the marketplace. So if people ever just wanted to know about support groups or fundraisers to support Parkinson's research, they can always call us about that. We also see a lot of need for people who are suffering from memory loss. We help connect them with memory cafes and learning to be, helping caregivers learn how to be better caregivers to somebody living with memory loss. It requires a lot of patience and a lot of understanding. And so helping them figure out some of those resources, even before they're ready to move to assisted living or memory care, can be really helpful to them.
You mentioned Memory Cafe. What's that?
So a memory cafe is a social environment for a person living with dementia as well as their caregiver to come together with other people in similar situations to be able to just enjoy a structured time away. And so they're held at a certain time. Maybe there's coffee and snacks served, but there's usually some sort of a program that the family can enjoy in a safe environment, non-judgmental.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the signs that your mom or dad may need help? Maybe a little push?
Sure. You want to?
What are the signs?
I would say it doesn't have to be something huge. I mean, forgetting where you put your keys, some of those early onset things, doing something that you normally do and now you don't see that happening anymore. It can be something subtle like that maybe kind of, you notice.
One of the things that people often will notice about their loved one is a change, right? So I always lose my keys. That doesn't mean.
Right. Yeah.
But if that's not normal for your loved one, that's where you see the change. Or if suddenly they've always kept their house very neat and clean, and now they're not doing that, that's a warning sign. So a change in behavior is really the indicator that we want to watch for.
I've heard so many people say that it was tough to have the conversation with Dad to get his car keys away from him.
Yeah.
This has to be a whole new level of conversation.
Yeah. It depends on the individual and where they're at in the progression. Sometimes people don't even realize that their loved one has memory loss until it's too late. A lot of times people will see their loved one, sure, their short-term memory is not that good, but they can remember things from 20 years ago. That's memory loss, and that's a form of dementia that needs to be addressed. So if people see that, they should approach their primary care physician and have a serious conversation about what's going on. Could be something as minor as dehydration, or maybe they have a UTI. Sometimes it's nothing, but it needs to be addressed.
And once you realize you have to have the conversation, it's time. How do you approach it? How do you address it?
Right. Well, every person's different, so it depends on where they're at. Some of the things that you have a lot of small conversations over a long period of time. You don't want to force people into making a move when they're not ready. So you start having conversations as early as possible and move in a direction.
So it's a slow process of convincing them that probably they need some sort of assistance.
Unless it's a dangerous situation, unless the person's at risk for safety issues, yeah.
There's a guilt factor here too, is there not, when people feel as though, my goodness, Mom and Dad have been in their home for 30 years, for 40 years, and now I'm pushing them into this strange facility. What do you say to people who are contemplating having that conversation, living with that guilt right now?
Yeah. Well, there's not a standard answer. It depends on their individual family situation. Sometimes people have made a commitment to their loved one that they would always keep them at home. But when the safety becomes an issue for not just the patient themselves, the person that we need to move, but also a safety concern for the person who's doing the caregiving, they're not getting enough sleep, that their health is at risk as well. It's just time.
Funny you mention that, because just this week, when the folks in our office were talking about having you two come in to talk about this today, our assignment manager said to me that he was caring for his elderly parents, and he was finding himself going to their home almost every day, to the point where he said, this has got to end. He said, I was losing who I was. Is that normal? Does that happen to people?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And some of the interim steps would be even doing home care. But we'll have a caregiver come into the home to help the family as well. I mean, it doesn't have to always be moving into an assisted living. So there's help all along the way. But definitely this person was at a breaking point. And that's definitely a time when more help is needed.
Care Patrol, much more to come after this. Stay with us.